Oscar de la Hoya, de la Hoya, de la Hoya, Spanish. Oscar de la Hoya, born February 4, 1973, is a Mexican-American boxing promoter and former professional boxer who competed from 1992 to 2008. His accolades include winning 11 world titles in 6 weight classes, including lineal championships in 3 weight classes. De la Hoya was nicknamed the Golden Boy of Boxing by the media when he represented the United States at the 1992 Summer Olympics, where, shortly after having graduated from James A. Garfield High School, he won a gold medal in the lightweight division. He is regarded as one of the greatest boxers of all time and is ranked the 16th greatest boxer by BoxRec. De la Hoya was named the Ring Magazine Fighter of the Year in 1995 and was its top-rated fighter in the world, pound for pound, in 1997 and 1998. De la Hoya generated approximately $700 million in pay-per-view income, making him the top pay-per-view earner before being surpassed by Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao. He announced his retirement as a fighter in 2009, following a professional career spanning 16 years. In 2002, De La Hoya founded Golden Boy Promotions, a combat sport promotional firm that also owns a 25% stake in the Houston Dynamo. He is the first American of Mexican descent to own a national boxing promotional firm, and one of the few boxers to take on promotional responsibilities while still active. In 2018, he began promoting MMA matches as well, beginning with a 2018 trilogy bout between longtime rivals Chuck Liddell and Tito Ortiz, with the inaugural Golden Boy MMA event taking place on November 24, 2018. De La Hoya has held dual American and Mexican citizenship since 2002, when the Consulate General of Mexico in Los Angeles granted him Mexican citizenship, reflecting his heritage. He was born in East Los Angeles, California, into a boxing family. His grandfather, Vicente, was an amateur fighter during the 1940s, and his father, Joel Sr., had been a professional boxer during the 1960s. His brother, Joel Jr., was also a boxer. De La Hoya graduated from Garfield High School in East Los Angeles, California, in 1991. De La Hoya began dating actress and Miss USA 1995 title holder Shanna Moakler in October 1997. Moakler and De La Hoya announced their engagement in October 1998. She gave birth to their daughter the following year. Moakler has said, "It wasn't a planned pregnancy, but it was understood. If it happened, it was beautiful, and if it didn't, that was fine too." In September 2000, the relationship abruptly ended when Moakler, who was at home watching the Latin Grammy Awards on television, saw De La Hoya escorting another woman to the show. In December 2000, Moakler filed a $62.5 million palimony suit against her ex-fiancé, claiming he was an alcoholic, abusive to her and to their daughter, and that he used them as props to promote his public image. The case was settled out of court in 2001 for an undisclosed amount. After the time of De La Hoya's split from Moakler, he had little contact with his daughter, although he continued to provide financial support. On October 5, 2001, De La Hoya married Millie Corricher. They have 3 children together. He also has 2 sons from previous relationships. De La Hoya and Corricher separated in 2016. On December 12, 2002, the Consulate General of Mexico in Los Angeles granted De La Hoya Mexican citizenship. De La Hoya stated, "I've always felt that my blood is Mexican." On September 3, 2021, De La Hoya disclosed that he was raped by a woman when he was 13. He did not disclose the name of the woman, but stated that she was over 35 years of age. On November 23, 1992, De La Hoya made his professional debut by scoring a first-round KO victory over Lamar Williams in 1 minute 42 seconds. De La Hoya vs. Concepcion cancellation edit. De La Hoya was scheduled to fight Jesus Vidal Concepcion in a 10-round junior lightweight bout on December 9, 1993, televised by ESPN's Thursday Night Fights at the Paramount Theater in New York City, but pulled out due to a wrist injury. Some found the injury suspicious and speculated that Oscar was being overdramatic. Oscar said that he aggravated an old ligament injury while hitting the heavy bag a week before. Later that month, De La Hoya would fire his co-managers Mittleman and Nelson over money issues. In his 12th professional fight, he won his first world title at age 20, stopping Jimmy Bradal, 16-0, in the 10th round to win the WBO junior lightweight title. He defended the title once, stopping Giorgio Campanella, 20-0, in 3 rounds. On July 29, 1994, he knocked out Jorge Paez, 53-6-4, in the 2nd round to win the vacant WBO lightweight title. He would successfully defend the title twice to close 1994, defeating fringe contenders Carl Griffith and John Avila, both by technical knockout. In February 1995, he defeated John Molina, 36-3, who had recently vacated his IBF super featherweight title by unanimous decision. On May 6, 1995, De La Hoya defeated IBF lightweight champion Rafael Ruelas, 43-1-0, in a unification bout. De La Hoya knocked Ruelas down twice before the fight was stopped in the 2nd round. The IBF then ordered De La Hoya to defend against Miguel Julio. De La Hoya vs. Hernandez. He relinquished the IBF title and defended the WBO title against undefeated Genaro Hernandez, 32-0-1, who relinquished the WBA super featherweight title to fight De La Hoya. 25. De La Hoya vs. Leija edit main article. Oscar De La Hoya vs. Jesse James, Leija. Hernandez quit after 6 rounds because of a broken nose. In his 6th and final defense of the WBO lightweight title, he knocked out Jesse James Leija, 30-1-2, in 2 rounds at New York's Madison Square Garden. On June 7, 1996, Oscar De La Hoya fought Mexican legend Julio Cesar Chavez, 96-1-1, for the lineal and WBC light welterweight championship. 26. De La Hoya, with a record of 21-0 with 19 KOs, defeated Chavez by a 4th-round TKO. The fight was stopped due to several bad cuts suffered by Chavez above his left eye. Until their rematch in 1998, Chavez stated that De La Hoya did not defeat him since the fight was stopped. De La Hoya vs. Gonzalez edit main article. Oscar De La Hoya vs. Miguel Ángel González De La Hoya successfully defended his titles with a 12-round unanimous decision against undefeated former WBC lightweight champion and #1 light welterweight contender Miguel Ángel González. In 1997, De La Hoya moved up to the welterweight division and fought Pernell Whitaker, 40-1-1. 27. The fight proved to be a difficult one. Whitaker frustrated De La Hoya with his defense and landed more overall shots than De La Hoya, but De La Hoya's power punches and aggression swayed the judges more in his favor. De La Hoya won a 12-round unanimous decision to capture the lineal and WBC titles. 28. He also became the Ring magazine's #1 ranked pound-for-pound fighter. 29. De La Hoya vs. Kamau edit main article. Oscar De La Hoya vs. David Kamau on June 14, 1997. De La Hoya made the first successful defense of his WBC welterweight title, defeating David Kamau by 2nd-round KO. De La Hoya vs. Camacho edit main article. Oscar De La Hoya vs. Hector Camacho, on September 13, 1997. De La Hoya defeated Hector Camacho, 63-3-1, by unanimous decision. De La Hoya vs. Rivera, edit main article, Oscar De La Hoya vs. Wilfredo Rivera, on December 6, 1997. De La Hoya defeated Wilfredo Rivera by 8th round TKO. De La Hoya vs. Charpentier, edit main article, Oscar De La Hoya vs. Patrick Charpentier. On June 13, 1998, De La Hoya defeated mandatory challenger Patrick Charpentier by 3rd round TKO. De La Hoya vs. Chavez, 2 edit main article, Oscar De La Hoya vs. Julio Cesar Chavez Setueng. On September 18, 1998, De La Hoya fought a rematch with Julio Cesar Chavez, 102-2, and defeated him by 8th round TKO. De La Hoya vs. Quartey, edit main articles, Oscar De La Hoya vs. Ike Quartey and Oscar De La Hoya vs. Obakar. In his next bout, he faced undefeated former WBA welterweight champion Ike Quartey, 34-0-1, and won by a somewhat disputable split decision. De La Hoya was knocked down once in the fight, while Quartey was down twice. He then defeated Obakar, 48-2-1, by 11th round TKO. De La Hoya vs. Trinidad Unification, edit main article, Oscar De La Hoya vs. Felix Trinidad. After 7 defenses of his lineal and WBC welterweight titles, De La Hoya fought rival and IBF champion Felix Trinidad, 35-0, on September 18, 1999, in one of the biggest pay-per-view events in history, setting a record for a non-heavyweight fight. De La Hoya stayed just outside Trinidad's range while generating much success with his stiff jab and blitzing combinations, but in the last 2 to 3 rounds of the fight, heeding the strict instructions of his corner, who felt that De La Hoya was way ahead on the scorecards, De La Hoya shut down much of his offense and evaded trading with Trinidad. De La Hoya virtually gave away the last couple of rounds. Though landing well over 100 more punches, Trinidad was ultimately awarded a majority decision. The judges' scorecards came under question after the decision. Fans and boxing analysts called for a rematch, which never happened. De La Hoya vs. Opponents, edit main articles, Oscar De La Hoya vs. Daryl Coley, Oscar De La Hoya vs. Shane Mosley, and Oscar De La Hoya vs. Arturo Gatti. On February 26, 2000, De La Hoya knocked out Daryl Coley, 34-1-2, in a WBC eliminator. The WBC later awarded De La Hoya its welterweight title after Trinidad vacated it,